Management System, or shortly ECMS, has been envisaged as part of accomplishing good governance with respect to the activities associated with the Prohibition and Excise Department, Andhra Pradesh state. A robust system is contemplated where the general public could not only launch their relevant complaints associated with the department, but also to enable the department to be more accountable, responsive, and citizen-friendly. Citizen can lodge a complaint through web or mobile app or email or phone number, or he can lodge his complaint in writing. If he wants to complain through web, he can type the URL as cpe.ap.gov.in EEGP and register his complaint by pressing the icon Register Your Complaint. Then he can enter his name, phone number and Aadhaar and other details with regarding to the complaint. Name and phone number and other details like district, mandal and village and complaint are mandatory except Aadhaar number. He can also attach files of his choice. And then he can submit his complaint. Once the complaint is submitted, he'll get a message saying his complaint is lodged successfully with complaint ID so and so. Now our control room receives the complaint from the citizen. The control room user shall log in into his user ID and then see what are all the complaints received from the public. If a complaint is lodged by the citizen through mobile or phone or in writing, the control room shall enter into the public domain and enter the complaint as public and shall follow the same process. Now the control room shall see a new icon on the top of the screen, and then they can lodge the complaint details as received by them through mobile or telephone and mention the source of complaint as phone or in writing or election commission, or it can be media. Whatever complaints are received by the control room, they shall be reflected in the control room login and the complaint details shall be frozen. Now the control room shall assign to the respective DCs after going through the complaint and mention the type of the complaint, whether it is related to ID liquor or adulteration or unauthorized IML or others. They shall assign to the DC or STF whatever is applicable and then submit. Once the complaint is forwarded to the DC or STF, the respective users can see the complaints forwarded by the control room. Once they open the ECMS icon, ECMS process icon can be clicked and they will be able to view all the complaints received by them. By clicking on the complaint ID, they will be able to see the details of the complaint transferred from the control room to them. They can select an inquiry officer such as SHO or ESTF or Border Mobile Patrolling Party or checkpost or enforcement, or they can keep with themselves. Depending on the gravity of the complaint, the concerned Deputy Commissioner or STF teams shall select this. Here we are selecting SHO as the inquiry officer and then submit the data. Once the complaint is assigned to an inquiry officer, it shall be changed as assigned by DC. The inquiry officer can log in using their username and password and see all the complaints assigned to them for inquiry. By clicking on the complaint ID, they will be able to see the details of the complaint. After the preliminary verification of the complaint, the inquiry officer can enter the ATR preliminary data. Here, they have to select whether the crime is detected or not detected. If no crime is detected, he can select not detected. If the crime is detected, then he has to enter the other fields like inspecting officer, crime location, cases booked, contraband seized, CR number, persons arrested, and under which section the case is booked, and the value of the contraband as well. He has to enter the value of the contraband in rupees. The applications in ECMS are all time bound. The inquiry officer shall submit this ATR preliminary report within 2 hours from the time of receipt of the complaint. If it is not submitted within 2 hours, an escalation mechanism is introduced into this ECMS application. ATR preliminary is submitted. It shall be communicated to the higher officer. After fulfilling all the formalities, a detailed action taken report shall be submitted by the inquiry officer. Here, the number of cases booked, the persons arrested, and under what section the case is booked, and the type of seizure if the case is detected, and the quantity of the contraband seized, and if any vehicles are seized, the number of vehicles seized shall be entered into this action taken report. Here, there will be attachments as well. Once the contraband type is chosen as illicit liquor, he can choose adulterated toddy or non-duty paid liquor or unauthorized duty paid liquor or spurious liquor or RSR ENA or illicitly distilled liquor or wash or others. Here we are choosing unauthorized duty paid liquor. He can write his remarks in this column. He can also attach FIR, remand report or Panchnama or any other reports in these attachments column and then submit. Once he submits the ATR, the stage of the complaint is changed to action taken by SHO. Now, the Deputy Commissioner can see in his inbox the action taken report submitted by the SHO or any other inquiry officer as assigned by him. The action taken report, apart from the action taken report preliminary, has to be submitted within 48 hours of the time received by him. In case of Election Commission complaint, it is within 24 hours. Otherwise, the escalation mechanism starts operating. The Deputy Commissioner can now see an updated stage in this complaint. He can see the ATR preliminary or the ATR as sent by the inquiry officer. He can add his final remarks, if any, in this column. He can also choose attachments to be added into this. This is not mandatory. And then submit. Once the Deputy Commissioner sends a report, it shall be received by the control room agent. The control room, on clicking the complainant ID, they can see the details uploaded by the inquiry officer and by the DC. On receiving a report from a Deputy Commissioner, they can take a feedback from the complainant even before closing the complaint. Basing on the feedback received from the complainant, either they can close the complaint or review the complaint. If the feedback is satisfactory, they can close the complaint by choosing the option closed and then submit. If they are not satisfied with the feedback taken from the citizen, they can review. Once review icon is chosen, again the mechanism starts. They can assign it to the concerned DC again or any other DC of their choice or to the STF teams and then start the entire process. Once it is closed by the control room, the journey of the complaint ends. Thank you.